Wine or vintherapy is something that has been common all around the globe for many centuries. Folks have known for years that the properties within grapes, grape skins, grape vines, the root, that this plant has such incredible antioxidants and healing properties. And there are some incredible companies that have been benefiting from this by creating natural homeopathic products that you can use on your skin and things that use the grapevine and the grapes to really help with overall health. Today on the show, I had a really unique guest. This is not a winemaker. This is not a wine brand. This is something totally different than I've ever had on the show today. And so I think you're really going to like it if you have ever been interested in wine health, or really if you just enjoy going to the spa. This is going to be a really fun episode for you. Hi friends, my name is Sarah. I'm a certified sommelier and I'm host of the Wine CEO podcast channel. And each week on this show, I dive into different fun wine topics to make wine more approachable for the average consumer. This week, I'm sitting down with Kelly Lewis, who is not a winemaker. She actually owns the first ever wine spa in the United States. This is a spa experience that is exclusively dedicated to wine treatments, and it's located in Portland, Oregon. So she has the beautiful Willamette Valley right in her own backyard. So you can imagine there's a lot of great focus around wine there. And what she has done is created an entire spa with unique treatments that are exclusive to wine and wine products. If you've ever wanted to bathe in wine, this is the place to go, friends. I had such a fun time talking to Kelly and learning more about her business, opening up this wine spa, and plans for the future. So let's go ahead and dive into my conversation with Kelly so you can learn a little bit more about the wine spa in Portland, Oregon. Well, Wine CEO podcast listeners, I am so excited. Today, I have a very special guest on the show. I've been looking forward to this interview because it's a very interesting topic. It's a little different than my typical winemaker interviews. Today on the show, I have Kelly Lewis, and she is the CEO of Wine Spa in Portland, Oregon. And Wine Spa is a very unique spa experience, giving guests a wine related spa. And so it's one of the first in the United States. And so we're going to hear all about that today. So, Kelly, welcome so much to the Wine CEO podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so thrilled to have you with us. And maybe you could start off just by telling our audience a little bit about yourself, how the wine spa got started, where this cool idea came from, and just kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, totally. So the wine spa came from my love of travel, and really my background is in travel. I have no business being in the spa industry because everything that I have done up until this point has been travel. I own a women's travel company called Damesley, and this all kind of started because I was leading a group of ladies through Armenia and the Republic of Georgia, and we kept encountering different wine spas. And I was sitting in a bathtub of red wine and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is so cool and so unique. And this should totally exist like in Oregon, which is such a wine rich place, especially, with the Willamette Valley right in our backyard. So I was sitting there thinking, God, it would be so cool to bring a wine spa to the US. And that was kind of my first like seed of an idea, but I didn't think I would actually ever do it, you know? And I came back, I remember coming back from that trip and talking to my colleague, and I was like, it would be so fun to open a wine spa. And she was like, what is a wine spa? And why are you crazy? Like, that's an insane idea, right? But then I started really becoming obsessed with the idea of vinotherapy and the history and tradition behind vinotherapy. And if you're listening to this podcast from North America, there's a strong chance you've probably never heard the word vinotherapy, right? So, vinotherapy is a process of using the elements of grape and vine holistically. And for us, that means that every single treatment we do involves some extraction of grape or vine. So, for facials, we partner with a skincare brand called Caudalie, And all of their products are made in Bordeaux, France, from their vineyard, still family run. And they all include resveratrol, which is anti-aging and comes from the stalk of a grapevine. And they also include viniferin, which is brightening and comes from the sap of a grapevine. So grape and vine are kind of nature's healing antioxidant superpower. There actually is no stronger antioxidant on the planet than grapeseed. So we are very excited to be able to utilize grapes and vine in new ways. And at the wine spa, our massages have grapeseed oil, and we also quite famously soak in wine. We have vino immersion experiences where you soak in a tub that has wine, Epsom salt, water, botanicals, and is heated to about 102 degrees. And, a lot of people hear this and they're like, well, I could just put wine in my bathtub, right? Which we would not recommend. Because wine does stain. But we really want our experiences to be multisensory. So our bathtubs are like so luxurious. They have lights and jets, and like it's a whole vibe in there. And I think more than anything, I was speaking with a journalist yesterday who came to see us because we've been so blessed to get such like amazing press as being the first dedicated wine spa in the United States. And she was saying, well, what has Vintherapy like done for you? And I said, well, I mean, my skin, it glows, right? So it's certainly done things for my skin. It makes me feel great. But more than that, like I just love the luxury and the ritual and the history and the kind of like that feeling you get when you're sitting in a tub of wine. Like you feel like a queen. I mean, you can see why Cleopatra used to do it. So yeah, so I think there's a lot of that. And we, of course, are very excited to partner with Willamette Valley Wineries and upcycle wine that could not be sold due to bottling error or processing error or labeling error. So the wine that we are pouring down the drain would already have been waste anyway. And so we give local wineries a chance to make money back on the wine that which would have been wasted, and we reduce wine waste in the process.
I love that. You just mentioned so many awesome things that I want to touch on. So first, I love the venotherapy discussion, and you talked about all of the incredible rich nutrients that are in the grape and vine properties. And so obviously folks could source some of these products, right? Like, Caudalie products and others that they could use at home to get that same kind of experience. So that's a positive. Obviously, it'd be great if they could come to Portland and visit you, but great to also hear that you can get some of those rich benefits at home, being able to have lotions and certain things that you might be able to use with those properties. Again, obviously not soaking in red wine because that'll stain your bathtub, but
I mean, you can. It's just so and it is a little bit more like scientific in how we heat the water and what we put into the formula of the water. And typically when you're soaking with us, you're going from tub to table for a treatment right after in the same room. So
sure.
and what that does is it helps prep your body to like really relax and be able to have a massage that can go deeper and do deeper work without having to like really go, like get in there. So it's amazingly relaxing for the skin and for the body.
Sure. I love that. And it sounds like obviously the properties are natural to the grape and the vine. But I'm curious, you mentioned you're in Portland, so obviously you have some amazing wines in your backyard. You talked about upcycling as well. Are there specific types of grapes that you're using? Are you looking for specific grapes because of the unique properties they have because of that grape variety? How do you select what you're using for some of your wine therapy treatments?
Yeah. So for soaking, it needs to be red because red grapes, darker grapes have higher antioxidant properties. Whereas white wines have a bit more sugars going on. They're less beneficial for venotherapy. So currently, the grapes that we are using come from actually from a Cab Franc that was grown here in the region, and then we've partnered with a local winery here called Terravina, and so we've harvested some grapes that were otherwise destined to be waste from the last harvest. So, by summer, probably 2025, we will be able to use our own wine spa grapes and wine spa wine in our tubs. But it does need to be red. And yeah.
Very cool. That's so awesome. So, how did you pick the particular winery that you work with?
Sheer luck. Honestly, sheer luck. I put a call out. I am not a wine person, right? I have had many lives in my lifetime. I've been a bartender, I've been a traveler, I've been an entrepreneur, mostly in the travel space. And so when I stepped into the spa wine region, I was like so intimidated, to be honest, with sharing this idea because I thought there's so many big legacy Willamette Valley wineries, and I was like, they are gonna laugh me out of here. They're gonna think this is so hokey. But it's really been the opposite. Like I put out a call in one of our wine industry groups here in Oregon, and I just said, I'm starting this new thing, and we're hoping to partner with local wineries who have wine. And at that point, I wasn't even like really knowledgeable about the amount of waste in the wine industry or how that might work. I just knew that I wanted to partner with someone who was growing grapes, making wine local to this region, this soil. And it turned out that's where I met Roxanne of Terravina, and she was like, I have 300 cases that I am just paying to store. And, it would be really amazing to see that go another way. And it would be amazing to recoup some of that lost expense, right? So it was really a win-win for both of us. And we have forged just such a great friendship over the over the process of this business. Um, I love supporting her. I love going out there, and I'm excited for our grapes. And I'm excited
Yes.
and happy. It's just like it's such a Portland thing, but it's also like a personal thing. I'm excited to be able to make a positive impact in waste reduction in this space.
I love that. I've definitely heard of other types of upcycling, using some of the grape must and things to make soaps or other products, right? And so I love that there's creative ways to use some of that waste because you're right. A lot of folks don't realize there's actually a large amount of waste in the wine industry because if you sell a product that's subpar, it damages the brand, right? And so there might be a winery that doesn't have a great year because of the vintage, or maybe something happened, a chemical imbalance in the winemaking, right? And so that wine can't be sold and it could be dumped down the drain, or in this case, it could be repurposed. So I absolutely love the way that you're upcycling these wines. Do you see yourself maybe expanding beyond Cab Franc into using some other grapes in the near future?
Yeah, absolutely. We're famous for Pinots, right? So that's Pinot Noir is our Willamette Valley grape and our wine. So for sure we will expand, but we always want to stay rooted here to this place. And then, brand wise, we're looking at other wine regions, but similarly, we will always work with local growers, local makers, to keep it super hyper local. And I think that's really important.
I love that. How do you feel like your business might differ from some of the wine spas that you visited when you were traveling around Europe? Do you feel like it's pretty similar? Does it have a unique American flair to it?
Yeah, that's a good question. It definitely does. It's certainly more modernized. I had different experiences. When I was in Armenia, it was like I was sitting in a regular bubble bath, just like a regular tub with jets, and then they came and poured white wine on my leg, and I was like, I don't, okay, I didn't, I didn't know that I loved that, but then they did like a grape hummus scrub, which I was obsessed with. I thought that was really cool, and they did a Chardonnay facial that kind of like blasted me with Chardonnay and my like with a steamer, and that was intense. And so I've taken parts of experiences, and then in Georgia, what I loved about that experience at the wine spa that I visited was that it was the same room, tub to table. So I've incorporated inspiration from that in our design of our rooms just to make it super private and add into that like luxury feel. I absolutely think that our space is a bit more modern. And with partnering with Caudalie for skincare, we're very blessed that they flew their trainers out from Paris actually to teach our estheticians how to do their signature Caudalie spa treatments. So we are the only spa in Oregon to carry Caudalie and the only spa to do their signature treatments that they do in Paris and Marrakesh and their spas around the world. Um, so yeah, we are grape and vine from tip to tail. There's really no place that we don't incorporate that, and that is we are one of a kind because of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you see yourself maybe trying to expand locations, maybe outside of Portland or
Yes.
even just more in the area? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We're looking at other places. I mean, we have so many great wine areas here in Oregon, McMinnville, Willamette Valley itself. But there's a lot of really lovely wine regions around the country, and I don't know that I ever want to play in the like Napa space. I feel like that's maybe too saturated, but I'm always keeping my eye on other places like Finger Lakes or, Temecula, like different kinds of regions that are playing with wine in cool spaces. And so I do see the brand hopefully expanding. It's scary. It's so scary starting a company and like coming up with a new idea and investing all of the money and getting the loan and like, making it all happen. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but for sure that is the goal and intention.
No, that's awesome. What would you say has been your favorite part of opening up the business so far? And it's one of many businesses you've opened, but maybe this one specifically.
Yeah, this is my first brick and mortar, so that's fun. I love everything about it. I love walking into my spa. I love building my team. I have such an incredible team of super talented massage therapists and skin therapists, and I mean, my guest services team is fantastic. Like that, I'm such a people. Like that was always really important to me is building a great team, and we certainly have that. It's just been really fun to chase this crazy dream, and I never thought that I would do it, honestly. I the space that we're in actually used to be a massage envy that I would go to as a client. So
No way. I
so
love that.
when yeah, I had no real goal of starting a wine spot aside from traveling down a bumpy street in Georgia in the back of a van when there were like sheep blocking our path and thinking like, God, wouldn't it be cool if I started a wine spot, right? Like that one tiny idea in that tiny moment came back with me to Oregon. And then when the Massage Envy that I used to go to closed, I was like, this is the spot. If I'm going to do it, this is the spot. I didn't look at any other spaces. Like it was either going to work there or it wasn't. And, I started the process of getting an SBA loan. That took many months. Negotiating the lease, that took many months. Building the spot. I mean, from the beginning to the end, it was about 18 months just to get open. And now being open and seeing the community support in the way that they have, and just being named one of Time's 100 greatest places to visit in the world in 2025 is pretty insane. And it's been a beautiful, stressful, crazy, lovely ride.
I love that you admit the joy also comes with the stress, right? Owning a business is not for the faint of heart, but what incredible rewards you've seen from such a short period, right? So that's incredible. It means you are truly onto something unique and amazing. And I know it's going to continue to grow and be so successful. Do you feel like you are more of a wine fan now that you've opened it? Because before you said you liked wine, but you weren't a huge wine fan. Do you feel like it's kind of made you become more interested in wine?
Certainly. Yeah. And I'm definitely more knowledgeable about wine and spa and hospitality. I've learned so much in this process and and I'm still learning so much. And I think that's why, having a team is so critical. And I really try to create a team where everybody's ideas and everybody's opinions and everyone's experience are valued. And we really talk openly about, what we're doing, where we're going, what we're building. Because wine spas don't exist here. And venotherapy is not a word that we are familiar with here. So we are kind of building the ship as we sail it. And that's really fun and exciting. Yeah, I've learned so much.
I'm sure. Well, you're trailblazing in a really fun area. So I love that you are really the first to the market and that this is such a cool new opportunity coming to the United States. Do you have anything exciting in 2025 coming up that you can tell us about? Maybe some exciting things that are coming to your spa?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's our first official year. It started with a bang being on Time's greatest places list. That was pretty insane, like beyond my wildest imagination, and such an insane honor. What I'm really excited about is creating community in our space. So we have been, hosting bridal showers, hosting bachelorettes. I just got a call to host a 70th birthday. Like, I'm so excited to see more people in our space, like, and celebrating those special moments with them. So 2025 is 100% all about our Portland spa and just getting it to be the best that it can be. So that maybe in 26 we look at expansion or 27 we look at expansion. I'm excited. I've coming from the travel industry, I've seen the world. I've been to all 7 continents. I've had some spectacular experiences, and I do feel for the first time in a long time like very rooted in a place, and that is also a very lovely feeling, and that is kind of, part of what we try to like make sure that our customers feel too. We're on a very busy road here in Portland, but behind two sets of doors is when you really enter our spa, and it's like an oasis. Like you do not remember the outside world, and that is what I want to convey here in this experience with the spa, and kind of what's happening in my life too. So I just feel like it's all, coming at the right place and the right time.
I love that. That's incredible. Well, Kelly, if folks wanted to follow along and see what the wine spa is up to throughout the rest of the year, what's the best place where they can get plugged in?
Yeah, we are Wine Spa PDX all over social media and the Wine Spa PDX online.
Amazing. And I'll make sure I link that in the show notes for today's episode so that folks can check it out. I will definitely be following along because I'm excited to see how you all grow. And I will definitely be making a trip out to Portland so that I can come join you. I still need to make it to the Willamette Valley, which it's hard to believe I haven't made it out yet for
Yes.
wine, but I will book that trip and make sure I schedule a day to come join you all because I have to check out this Vintherapy. It just sounds amazing. So thank
Yes,
you so much
come.
thanks for joining me on the Wine CEO podcast today.
Thank you.
All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed my conversation today with Kelly and learned a little bit more about the healing properties of grapes and Vintherapy. And also, hopefully, you are like booking your trip to Portland, Oregon right now to go visit her because it sounds like such an amazing experience. I know I need to make it out to Willamette Valley. And so I will definitely be stopping at her spa when I make a trip out there because it sounds like a really cool experience and such a fun way to get to experience the healing properties of wine on the outside, right? On our external body as well, instead of just drinking it. So if you loved today's episode, like and share it with a friend. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so now so that you get all of the upcoming exciting wine content coming your way. You can follow me along on Instagram at The Wine CEO. If you have any questions about this episode or wine in general, you can send me an email, sarah@thewineceo.com. That's SARAH at thewineceo.com. And as always, friends, I hope you drink something new and delicious this week, and I will catch you all in the next episode of the Wine CEO podcast.